Desk setups. For some, it's a place to do taxes, pay bills, and manage household paperwork. But for others, it's a creative workspace, a gaming setup, a home within your home. You see, as someone who works from home, plays video games, and edits videos, all from one setup, having a comfortable and personalized setup is super important. The first step to elevating any desk setup is to choose a theme. A cohesive theme elevates your desk setup, it makes it feel intentional, and gives it a visual appeal. You could go for minimalistic, you could go for unicorn puke and have RGB everywhere. Find some sort of theme that you really enjoy and make your desk setup look a little bit more like that. By having a theme, it will allow you to make easier decisions when choosing accessories and furniture and other little pieces for your entire setup. You could go for something like 2 to 3 main colors and then have one accent color to really have a little bit of pop in your desk setup. In my case, my desk setup is mostly white. I have a white mouse and keyboard, white stands for my desk, and a white drawer on the side, and that's mostly because the walls are white, so it helps the room feel a little bit more spacious. And when you only have 700 square feet in your total apartment, you really want to make sure it feels as open and as inviting as possible. You'll also notice that I have a lot of black accent stuff because I think the black looks really nice with the wall in the background. Because the wall is white, having black objects helps them to stand out from the wall and not blend in and get washed up in the rest of the wall in the apartment. I think the biggest game changer is lighting. Every setup needs to have lighting, and a lot more lighting than just your overhead lights. That sucks for pretty much every single desk setup. Go for something like RGB strips or Govee lights. I think these are like TV lights, but you can make them work for pretty much anything you want. Now, if you do an RGB strip, I would highly recommend getting like a little silicone tube. You can put them in to diffuse the light, put them along the back of the desk, make it so that way you don't see the really harsh spots, but instead just see a nice diffused light. It will make your desk setup feel a lot more cozy and coherent and less rugged. I can tell you from experience, having just the little diodes along the wall definitely don't look super good, and if you have them in places where you can visually see them all the time, it's just not appealing. Now, I went for something like these Govee TV light bars because they're individually controllable. You can actually do pretty much any color you want, and you can even have gradients on them, which I think is a super cool feature to have. I can control individual zones on each bar to really change the mood and set the vibe for however I'm feeling. Most of the time, I go for something like these warm tones because it makes my setup feel super cozy, feel super inviting, and because my desk sits in our bedroom, I really want my desk to also feel cozy because it's our bedroom. We want our bedroom to feel cozy. It's where you go to sleep. It's where you spend a lot of time. I don't really want this to feel super harsh, and so having the warm tones really helps that to kind of fit in this space. Now, if you have it in your budget, you could look for something like a screen bar, like the BenQ light bar that everybody likes to go for, or some other Amazon version. I think that would give you really nice lighting on your desk. I don't really think it's worth spending that much money. I like having the backlights that I have, and that's about it. I wouldn't mind having some lighting going up along this side of the setup. However, it's really just something that I'll work on in the future, probably when I revise this and do a version 2.0 in the future. When it comes to elevating your setup, you don't need to spend a lot of money at all. You can spend very little money and make a really big difference. I bought these little fake plants for like $10 on Amazon. I got 4 of them and I just put them around my desk, and then there's one in my living room, and it adds a nice little touch of color to the setup. It makes it feel cozy and it's something nice to look at, and it was only $10. You don't have to break the bank to elevate your setup. If you're a big keyboard enthusiast, or you just kind of like the way how the keyboard is the main focus point on your desk, look at getting some keycaps. Keycaps usually aren't super expensive. You could probably wait a paycheck or two and eventually buy some, and you could change the whole feel of your setup just because of some keycaps. Or if you're looking at doing something else, the real thing is just to personalize it how you like it. Don't go for some sort of setup that feels out of place or doesn't fit your style. In my case, I have Legos sitting on my desk because I'm a freaking nerd. I have a degree in computer science. I like computers. I like Legos. I feel like most people who are probably watching this are quite the same way. On my desk, I have a Lego McLaren F1 car because I love watching F1 and I love Legos. It's a great combination of the two. And on the side, I have a Lego Star Wars set because one of my good friends gave it to me as a Christmas present. Don't be afraid to put little things like this on your desk because it's something to look at to make you happy. I keep a picture with my friends on my desk because my girlfriend and two of my good friends are in it, and it's always something just to look at to brighten your day up if you're not having a super good day. I would recommend too, and this is something that I haven't actually gotten to, but adding some shelves and adding some vertical height to your desk is a good way to make it feel like it's a lot more than what it is. That's actually why I went for vertical monitors. Not only do I like the look of them, I think they feel really nice to use vertically, but it adds some height to the desk and kind of takes away from how wide it is. Especially if you have a really wide desk, it might be a good idea to add some shelves, put some of your personal belongings on there, and make it feel like it's really your setup. I think when it comes to the whole vertical conversation too, that's why you see me having plants on top of my computer, down on my desk, different levels. Having stuff at different levels definitely is appealing to your eyes, and it is able to draw your attention to different spots on your desk and appreciate all the different spots on your desk. Now, something that is a really, really simple fix to making your desk setup feel cozy is by just having good wallpapers. Behind me, I have a McLaren F1 car as my main monitor and then a Porsche on the top because that is a dream car of mine and it's something that I can look at and remind myself to work towards every single day. Having those and having it kind of match the whole vibe of the setup ties it all together. I think it would look super out of place if I had some super chaotic background on the computer with this like really cozy vibe behind me. So by just doing like a bunch of small little things that don't cost a lot of money, if your computer has RGB, set the RGB to a tone that matches the theme of your desk. You don't have to spend a lot of money to elevate your desk setup. You just have to put some thought and some intention behind what you do, and you'll notice that your desk setup will feel so good so fast. I really didn't spend a lot of money when I redid my desk setup other than buying the desk. The rest of it was super cheap, but it was enough to make the setup feel like mine and feel like home. I know that these tips might not be new, but they might be a new way to look at rearranging your desk. You really don't need to do a lot, and I hope that I got my point across with that. Let me know what you've done to your desk to make it feel more like your own personal space or what you want to do with your desk in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.